Hey, what's up, everyone? I'm AJ Rumsa. I am my main man, Oni Guillen, Chicago legend. This week, we're going to talk about a couple different topics. The Super Bowl, Tom Brady, Philadelphia Eagles.
And of course, we got to dive into the NBA, what's going on in the landscape with all these athletes and owners. We got to get on the same page.
And we're going to do a little talk about Cleveland, LeBron James, not just basketball, but also his legacy. I want to explain to you guys, we've had a lot of people come to us, hey, why don't you guys start talking about sports, life, just everything. People would be interested.
I asked them, were they sure? They're sure they want me to talk about this stuff? They were, though. They did.
I'm worried. I'm a little worried because he only likes to give all the insight. He likes to tell the stories from the inside out. A lot of you guys see it from the outside in. We got the man that's been on the inside that wants to tell stuff. But we're going to start doing live videos. We're going to update you guys with different things of what's going on in sports, life. We're going to be doing giveaways every single week, whether it's autographed basketballs, whether it's signed bats, whether it's different guests, different celebrities, athletes. We're coming to you guys at full force. We're going to give you guys everything. Action, impact, a little celebrities.
Maybe some laughs.
Oh, there's going to be
or
a lot
frowns.
There's going to be some laughs. There's going to be some frowns. But what we're going to do, we're going to tell you guys the truth. We're going to have fun. We're going to talk about celebrities, athletes, even talk with those people and see, how did you get there? What's some hard things that you had to deal with being a famous athlete, with being a celebrity?
Right, the things that people they want to know about, the people that you don't see on TV. So
we're going to tap into everything, but we want to make sure that you guys have fun. So we're not just going to interview our favorite athletes, our favorite stars, and then the show's over. Each week we're going to be doing different giveaways. Like I said, autographed basketballs, gift cards, just so many different things that you guys are going to love. But I want to start you guys off with this week's show. Like I said, let's get right into Super Bowl Sunday. We got coming up Tom Brady, the GOAT, one of the best to ever play the game. And you have them playing against the underdogs, which everybody...
They're there every year now. It seems like Tom Brady's there every year.
That is true. They're playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, the most underrated team. They're hungry. They're ready. Who do you have?
Oh, I'm going with the best. I'm going with Tom. I think Tom Brady's going to win his 6th Super Bowl ring.
MJ, 6?
Yes, he's going to catch MJ, but only Tom Brady's what, 40? 41 maybe?
I forgot about that.
Pushing 40 years old, or he's already 40 years old. Super Bowl, him, Bill Belichick. I'm going with them.
I like that. It's hard to go against New England. It's hard to go against all those Super Bowls.
You always root for the underdog.
Always. I know, but I'm the underdog.
It's a personal thing.
It's a personal thing. That's what I'm saying. People are like, oh, he's an idiot. He doesn't know football. Don't worry about that. It's a personal thing. I'm an underdog my whole life. So guess what I'm going with? I'm going with the Philadelphia Eagles because they're underdogs. They're hungry.
Oh, they
want it.
I'm sure Eagles fans will be excited to hear that. All I want is just for it to be a good game.
Oh, come on.
That's all I want. Just like last year's game against Atlanta, I want it to be a good game. People get entertained. Hopefully the halftime show is great. I always look forward to the halftime show. Don't tell me that. I love that.
You like the halftime show?
I'm more personal for the halftime show. I like the halftime show when I like
more
the game.
More than the game. I told you guys.
I just hope it's a good game. We're all entertained, and hopefully Tom Brady comes out on top.
One of the greatest players, I told you guys, it's hard to go against them. Philadelphia Eagles, I have. But as a competitor, as somebody that loves sports, I just love it going down to the last second.
And if Tom loses, is it really that bad? Got all that money, got Gisele Bündchen as a wife, got kids, everything. Guy's got everything.
And who else? And what else do we know that he has that people might not know?
Exactly.
We'll talk about that later on. Let's talk a little bit about Blake Griffin being the man in LA. A super, super high contract that they signed him to. We want you to be the franchise player of the year. You're not the franchise player of the year. We want you to be the franchise guy. We want you to be our leader. We want you to take over. We want you to lead us to the championship, to playoffs. We're going to trade you.
Whoa. You know, if I'm Blake, I'm very, very, very upset. Especially going into the offseason, you had Chris Paul leaving, taking less money to go play without Blake Griffin, taking less money to go play with James Harden and to go play in the Houston Rockets. Blake Griffin says, you know what, I'm going to stay here. I'll do the rebuild. That's great, Blake. We love you. Jump over a key again. Oh, never mind. You're traded.
Over a key.
You're traded. Blake Griffin, in all reality, has been very injury prone. He hasn't been an all-star in 3 years. But he did stay loyal to the Clippers organization. And the fact that they did this to him, that's got to be a huge slap in the face. I'm sure it hurts. Hurts him, hurts his family. It's a lot to deal with.
You talk about Blake Griffin, you talk about how he feels, and of course he's going to be upset. And let's not even talk about him going from LA, the lifestyle, being around all the celebrities.
Oh, they're not that different.
Yeah, it's not that bad. and listen, again, to my people in Detroit, we love Detroit.
Oh, I love
we're
Detroit.
city people.
Love Detroit. Been in Detroit many times. We
love it, but we're saying a guy like that's used to the celebrityism, if that's even a word, used to the people coming up to him, the nice weather.
Life, yes.
It's a social, right, it's Cali, it's LA, it's where the stars are. And now he's going to a smaller market in Detroit where the team's not as good, the weather's not as nice, to jump off that now. How do you take this when they say, oh, the owners, they had to get rid of him, it was the right business decision, and then when these players go say, hey, I want to go play somewhere else, you're a traitor, you're a snake, you have no loyalty. I mean, what's the difference? Let me know.
There is no difference. It's
so why do people make such a big deal?
Because like everyone's always going to root for their team. Like if you're a Clippers fan, you're upset. Everyone's gonna always look at it from their team organization's perspective. What's better for us? What can we do to move forward? But if for Blake and his personal issues and his family and him, it's heartbreaking.
Wait, you're telling me these guys have to worry about their family?
Yes, they are human after all.
Oh, they worry about that stuff.
Yes. So the fact
they don't just have a bunch of money and they just live life and hang.
No, that means Blake's got a place. He's got to pack. Someone's got to pack for him. They got to send his stuff. He's got to find a new place to stay in Detroit. New places to go eat. All this stuff that comes into being a professional athlete.
But when they get rid of you, it's a business. But when you decide, hey, I want to leave because I want something better for my life, let me take all this criticism and just everyone's going to start hating me because I decided to do the best thing for my life.
Why should someone tell you what you're going to do with your life or decide what team? As a fan, do I like it, the buddy system in the NBA? Absolutely not. But I understand.
You're like me.
I understand. I understand it because they're like, I'd rather go play with my friend in the place that I want to go play. These players are taking the control out of the owner's hands and putting it in their own pockets. That's one way to look at it. That's what happened with LeBron and everybody else. Blake Griffin was a pawn because he didn't have a no-trade clause. They basically said, thank you for signing. And by the way, he's in the first year of his deal. So he thought he's going to spend the next 5 years.
I don't know what the deal is. I think it's
like 5 years,
120, 140 million.
Yeah.
Something crazy like that.
It's a lot more than you have or me.
I think both of us put together, and then some, and then some other people.
Literally. So at the end of the day, Blake's going to Detroit. It's tough for him. I mean, it could be a lot worse.
And this made me think about it when I was watching all the trade stuff last night and just learning about it. And what you kind of said, like, I've always been, when I play basketball, I don't have friends. I don't have people that I'm like, oh man, we're cool, don't worry. I just lost, don't worry. When I lose, I'm pissed. I don't have friends like that. But when I was looking at that last night and I'm thinking, people get upset, all these old time guys, oh, the players aren't or they're so cool with one another, they're all trying to hang out, they're all buddies. But this business now, it's almost like you have to. Because the people you hang out with and the guys that are in the NBA, these are my buddies. Yeah, you might be traded and start playing with them next week.
You might be on the outside looking in.
Exactly, and everybody goes through different stuff. There's some players that get traded without even knowing. There's some players that see it across the timeline on ESPN that you can't control it. But it's just, I mean, come on.
At the end of the day, it's a business, but personally, and I've heard it, I would never trust somebody. Don't worry, you're never going to be traded. I just signed a $170 million deal. I'll buy a house. I'm good. A month later, you're gone.
Just like that.
Do what's best for you, and try. That's why when athletes find somebody that they're loyal, that they have loyalty with, they trust them because, hey, I can trust this person.
It's hard.
But I'm sure when Blake Griffin signed that contract, he was thinking, you know what? I'm here for the rest of my career. I'm good. That's what happens.
I think that's the toughest for me is it's not, and I get it, it's a business. We're talking about business. It's money. It's so much tied into it. But for me, when you give someone that loyalty, when you tell somebody, hey, you've been with us from the start. We believe in you. We've seen what you've done with ticket sales, with your play on the court. Yeah, he's had some problems off the court, and that's like life. That's what you got to do.
Everybody goes through that.
Everybody goes through. But
except for your LeBron, but that's for later.
We'll talk about that in a little bit. Literally. But when you go, you know what I mean? You got to go through tough times. But if someone's telling you, hey, you're good. I want you here. You're not thinking. The last thing on your mind is thinking, I got to worry about getting traded. And then all of a sudden you hear, hey, I'm traded. I mean, it's tough. It's hard to deal with. I just want to talk a little bit about, we talk about the difference, but I want people to understand, man, why is it fair? Or why do they think it's okay for the owner just to trade him and the players to say, oh, I want to be traded? Well, he's horrible. I mean,
It's not. I mean, look at the other perspective. Let's say your team you didn't put money into your team or you didn't do anything. Should the owners be traded? Say, we're going to trade this owner to the other team and say, without even letting you know. Because Blake Griffin had no clue.
I like that.
Think about it. Say,
you know what? Has something coming. I like that.
Let's all be accountable. Say, you're going to get traded. You know what? This GM had a horrible year. We want that GM. Let's swap. It doesn't work that way. These players are pawns. of this money machine that is called the NBA. So, and now reaching all-time highs. So these guys have to do what's best for them. Now, I'm not saying I like it as a fan, because I don't. I'm a little more old school. I grew up in that era about not being buddy-buddy and everyone competing, and I like a little bit of parity. But I understand, coming from someone that grew up in a family with a father who was an athlete. I get it.
By the way, I know he doesn't like to talk about it too much. 2005, Oni, his family, his dad, Ozzie Guillen won the World Series in Chicago. Probably one of the biggest moments in Chicago history to bring that to the south side of Chicago. Just, I mean, so many good things. But like you said, you're on the inside. You knew what it was like to get traded. You knew, and I mean, with the whole family thing, you knew what it was like for you. I mean, talk about that.
No, I mean, it's
you're on the inside.
People look at it totally different. I was like, yeah, if you're a fan and trade him. It's like whatever. It's like a piece of car. Like, give me that one. I'll take the big one. For when you're involved in that, it takes so much to get uprooted from one place to go to another place.
You're saying this because they're human, right? They have emotions.
They're human. They have emotions. They have wives that they have to deal with. Okay. Because everybody deals with their wives. It's just, that's how it is. It's kids' school. It's kids' shopping. It's their friends. I don't want to leave, Dad. I want to stay here. It's very, very difficult job. That's why players, what do they look for most? They look for long-term contracts. Players try to get the longest deal they can, because they want to be in one place. You want to know where I'm going to be. What if tomorrow they say, hey, you know what, AJ, you got to leave today and you got to move to Minnesota? But I don't want to move to Minnesota. That's how it is for us. I know my dad, from personal experience, stayed in Chicago for as long as he could. And when he had a chance to come back to manage, it was a no-brainer. And we stayed here. And now, to this day, Chicago's our home.
I love it.
Because you spend so much time in a place, you get comfortable with it, your heart's in it, you don't want to be...
You're a part of the city.
Of course. You don't want to be bouncing around. No. So I'm sure, like Blake, there's many other athletes that we can name. It's a very difficult situation. Yeah. Hopefully, since he's a professional, he finds it within himself and tries to turn a negative into a positive.
I think he'll make the best out of the situation. I think with situations like that, when you have all that on your back, and I think you just play as hard as you can, you get that off, and you start winning, you help the team, and that's all. I mean, it's a change.
Winning usually helps.
Winning always helps. That puts everything else on the rug. We're still talking about basketball. I want to talk about Cleveland Cavaliers. I want to talk about LeBron James.
You and everybody else.
Literally. I want to talk about the team. They're struggling, but I want to put on a key note. I want to make sure, man. I feel like people don't talk about it. I'm a LeBron James basketball fan. I'm a fan of how he plays, of what he does, but I'm even a bigger fan of what he does off the court. Puts kids in college.
You and me both.
I mean, just it seems like I don't even question his basketball, but I know I'm more obsessed with the stuff that he does outside of the basketball world.
Because it's harder for him. It has to be harder for him. There's no way someone that's been in the spotlight since they were, I remember being in high school.
14
he was on the cover of
Sports Illustrated
and to be able to carry that torch and to not slip up, not DUI, adultery, and beating on your wife, things that are usually common in athletes because they are human, and when there's so much money and stuff handed to you, you get tempted. LeBron
and then you throw a camera there because people have to know every single thing that's going on with your life.
The fact that he can still be with the same girl that he was, great role model of a father, seems like a great guy on and off the court. Yeah. Those things are a lot harder to do than being 6'8", 6'9", and be able to, talk about the gym and all that stuff.
Man, did you see that dunk he did? Yeah, he's 6'9", arms man up here. I get that. What I love about him is the stuff he does off the court. And like you said, from the age of 14, you had that spotlight. Yeah, every single day. It's not saying, we came out with an article about you, No, we're watching your every move from the age of 14. For you to be able to excel and not only just do well, but create a legacy that's going to last forever from the age of 14 with spotlight on you, people wanting you to mess up, and for you to just exceed all those expectations and do, really the unthinkable. Just do what everybody...
Or he says strive for greatness every day.
Strive for greatness. When he puts that up on his Instagram, it's not like I'm strive for greatness in basketball.
It seems like he's never satisfied. Always going. And I think the fact that LeBron James has been so vocal with the African American community and everything that's going on. We're living in the time in America that so much is going on with them. Everything with the politics, everything. LeBron James has been at the forefront of not being quiet. Athletes get criticized nowadays for not speaking up, for not being involved.
People are afraid to, though.
Exactly.
People go, I don't want to.
Sponsors, the way they look, everything. LeBron James has not shied away from that.
Right.
And I'm not a LeBron James fan.
I know that.
I'm a Kobe guy.
You've never been a LeBron. So for you to even say this, I'm a little shocked. I
respect the fact that he gets involved. He's at the forefront. He speaks on all issues that are going on.
LeBron, this is I'm sending this to him. I'm going to DM him this because this is different. I don't even.
So
is that you, Moni?
Yeah, it's me. So you know all those things taken into consideration to even play basketball, play at that high level, 7 finals in a row. It's unheard of.
7 finals in a row. I mean, like we said, he's done it since age 14. We don't even care about the basketball.
I mean, what if you wake up one day and you're in a bad mood and you're him? You just had a argument, whatever, and some reporter comes up to him and he doesn't feel like talking to him. If he's mean to them or he brushes them off, it'll be in the news.
Well, Michael Jordan used to treat everybody with respect, and he used to do this.
Exactly.
But you can't have a bad day.
Exactly.
Come on, man. I don't
so
like that.
The guy has to be on point every day,
24/7, from the time you wake up to the time you go to bed, when you go to the grocery store, all that. We understand LeBron's one of the best ever. We understand what he comes with, what he's about. Talk a little bit about Cleveland, what he's got going there, what's he feeling? What about Isaiah Thomas?
Everything. Even since the offseason, they've been in the spotlight because of Kyrie demanding a trade, not wanting to stay in Cleveland. Got the trade. People thought it was because Isaiah Thomas was so good for Boston, averaged like 29 points a game. Right. First time he's ever done it. Goes into surgery, comes back, he's out for a while. Coming back, he doesn't fit in. Now Kevin Love goes down with a broken hand. They have a lot to deal with. Yeah. And like we said, we talk about LeBron James' meaningless games in January. They just lost to the Pistons. It's a big deal. Pistons without Blake Griffin. By the way,
we're gonna put
still back.
Every article, every newspaper. We're letting it know.
Everything. And no other superstar gets that treatment. No other superstar gets that treatment. He is in national news every time. Are they struggling? Yes. Does it help that they're in the East that is not as tough as the West? Of course. Will they be there at the end? I believe they'll be the last 4, maybe 5 teams. I kind of want them to be there because LeBron James not in the Eastern Conference Finals wouldn't be as exciting for everybody to watch.
Because they want to see LeBron lose. That's why they want him there.
But he's 30, he's 32, 33. You can't. That's what happens when you raise the bar that high. It's like, Michael didn't. He came back that one year and he didn't win the championship. Yeah. I was like, because he just won. You can't. No one's perfect.
Dude, you talk about raising the bar. He set the bar so high that it's so far up that it's like, oh wait, he only had 45 points this game.
Yes.
And they only won by 2. That's horrible. That cannot happen.
The bar is set. His bar is so high when it comes to basketball that anything shorter than making to the finals will be considered a failure. Because, with all due respect, LeBron did want those guys. He did want the Dwayne Wades and the Derrick
we're not
Rose.
totally protecting. We're saying he was going out there. Right.
He wanted those guys. He got them. Do I think he has enough to win a ring or even get there? I don't. Yeah. And then what happens to him next year? Where does he go?
That'll be later on. Those are some later episodes that we'll talk about. But I think for me, that a big thing with Cleveland struggling right now, Isaiah Thomas was out for 7 months. You know what I mean? 7 months.
You guys can relate. You guys are about the same height.
Same height.
They're the same height.
5'8".
That's tough.
I'll give him an inch. I'll give him an inch or 2, whatever. But I think that once he gets in the mix, Kevin Love's out. Yeah, I get that. But when you have one of the greatest players to ever play the game, you're never out. I don't care.
No, I agree.
The Warriors. I love all those teams. I love great. I'm a basketball fan. I like watching basketball. I want to see good basketball. So I think for those guys. It's gonna take a little time. It was like when he was in Miami, they didn't win a championship first year.
They lost to Dirk.
They lost to Dirk. They had to find out. Okay, this is what you're gonna do this year. You got to find out. I mean, this year we'll see what happens. I don't know what's gonna happen next, but they're gonna be. I think they'll be there at the end, like you said. Isaiah Thomas will start coming around. LeBron will obviously step his game up. He's gonna have the other guys step up because he demands that as a leader, as someone that is as good as he is. He demands the best of every player every single day. So I think that they're gonna be okay. They'll be fine. They're just going through hell right now to hopefully pay off.
I think that All-Star break's going to be a nice break. And it'll be a nice break for us fans, too, because that All-Star break's going to be really exciting.
All-Star break's going to be awesome. And I want to see how him and Kyrie act. Right, I know Kyrie's still upset about that.
And he's happy. He's probably real happy that the Cavs are struggling right now. Loving it.
Oh, I don't pay any attention to that. He's ESPN. Like, I'm checking everything. Scores.
Every mention, they're checking it.
Man, hey, we appreciate you guys listening. We just want to show you guys a little bit what we're about. We're going to be talking basketball, baseball, football. We're going to be talking everyday life. What else?
If you're worried about that, it's
I'm
a
worried.
daily
I let
events,
him have
the
that.
city of Chicago, what places to go, what to do, who to see. It's going to be an everything show, so don't miss it.
Hey, I tell you guys, we're going to give you guys everything. We're not just talking. We're not just going to have celebrities. We're not just going to have athletes. We're doing a giveaway every single week. And you worry me.
I can't win any of the giveaways?
No, you don't. You get all the giveaways for us. But what I'm saying to you guys, the giveaways, we're going to be giving away autograph stuff every single week, different things, gift cards. We want to interact with you guys. We want you guys.
Yeah, and ask questions, too.
Ask questions. We want to interact with you guys. We're going to have not just a podcast. We're going to have the best show out here because nobody has ever done this the way that we're doing it. I want you guys to listen. I want you guys to watch. I want you guys to pay attention because we're just getting started. Make sure you guys tune in next week to hear a little bit more from Oni's perspective, my perspective. And we got to find out who we're going to bring in next week. We'll have a little fun with that one.